Q4, we charge you more. That rhymes. Great. Man, this sounds heavily capitalistic, and the truth is, in many ways, it is.
Can't stress that
super
enough.
important.
January is such a strong month. We've got less time this year than we've had in the last couple of years.
This episode, it's Q4. Let's go. All right, gang. This is a bit more of a serious episode because you can tell because Zamir's got his laptop on his lap and he's going to be looking at data and figures and other cool fun things. So let's talk Q4, and everyone talks about it. Well, it's a big time in e-commerce. It is probably the time.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think we're talking about often 4 weeks that can change your entire year.
Yeah, exactly.
I think there are some sellers that during Q4 probably do between 40 and 60% of their annual revenue during this quarter,
which is massive.
It's insane.
So because it's such an important time, we thought we'd do a whole episode just on it. And what we're going to do is we're going to break it down and we're going to talk through all the bits, just so that you're armed and ready to make the most of it. And we talk about Q4 as though, just as you said, 3 months and they're all homogeneously the same, but the truth is they're not. And so, Zamir, good sir, with your laptop on lap.
So I think the important point to make is the reason why Q4 is so strong for so many people is because consumer intent is so high. The intent to purchase is so high.
Yeah.
But that's not consistent throughout Q4. So we've got 13 weeks.
Mm.
And that intent to purchase maneuvers in that period of time. And so what we're going to do is do a quick breakdown so we can kind of identify what each of those key periods are.
Okay, so let's do that. So let's go through the periods.
All right, so first one is just behind us now as we're releasing this. So it's Prime Day, right? So October Prime Day is the key first date in Q4.
Yeah, and we should flag this because October Prime Day isn't really that heavily promoted by Amazon. Like there's the July Prime Day, everyone knows about that one. October one, it is to some regard, but not massively.
The next point I think that really matters is clocks changing and Halloween. That changes. I think consumers' mind goes in because you kind of got that out of the way at that point. So if they go into winter mode when clocks change, I think we have that feeling. Yeah. Then you have Halloween. In the UK, we've got England and Wales in particular. We've got Guy Fawkes do the fireworks.
Do the Scots do Guy Fawkes?
I don't want to say
this could get political. Hashtag.
Yeah, but
Queen of the South.
I know for sure, like the Scots really go for Halloween. I've been there for Halloween, and it's like impressive.
Yeah.
There are parts of like down in Lewes, they do it as well. But yeah. So anyway. That once those are out of the way, I think that's when we start seeing the decorations go up in the stores. Yep. Christmas music starts playing, and everyone starts thinking Christmas.
Yeah, so it's in a way kind of the retailers, the physical retail stores start priming people for this, and then all these ads kind of shift to that, right? But before then, everyone's trying to make their focus your spend on Halloween and Guy Fawkes.
Yeah, try and get as much more of your money out before that as possible.
As I said it, I was like, man, this sounds heavily capitalistic, and the truth is, in many ways, it is.
We work in retail, so yeah.
But we're in the business of selling, unfortunately, and so you follow the customer, right? So anyway,
100%. So then we have this massive dam that is created. So this wall of demand that's been held back of customer intent to purchase, which is Black Friday, right? Yeah. So prior to Black Friday being a thing, people would start buying Christmas gifts all through October and November. Yeah. I think Prime Day has very much been created for the early shopper to make them feel good about themselves getting a good deal. But then we have this event that everyone's holding for, and we're going to get into why you need to be aware of that, particularly from an advertising perspective in a minute. But once Black Friday week comes along, that suddenly releases and all of this huge customer intent comes through, and that runs all the way up until the last shipping day before Christmas.
Can I unpack that? What you mean by that is people are kind of window shopping, right? So because they know Prime Day is coming up and they know there's a huge deal period coming up, they start window shopping, looking around, and then so there's a lot of pent up demand, and then it gets released at that point.
And it literally stays with us all the way through till, and again, a lot of people think it's all Black Friday week and Cyber Monday week. It's not. It's the following 2 weeks are huge selling opportunities, and it runs all the way till probably the 22nd this year.
Yeah.
In terms of
22nd of December.
And then sales start picking up again on the 25th of December. And it can be a really active day. I always say the big change in people's behavior is that up until the 22nd of December, people are buying for other people.
Yeah.
And then come 25th, everyone gets their Amazon gift vouchers and their cash or their money, and they go shopping for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Or they return their gift and they're like, cool, I've got some credit. Yeah. Let's do that.
So again, Christmas Day, year on year, we've been watching it and monitoring it, and it's becoming more and more popular.
Yeah.
Generally around about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I think once everyone's done with the family bit.
Yeah, and then they're like just chilling on the couch in front of the TV.
Or their new phone that they just
whatever they got.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get 3 days off this year.
That's a good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, great.
Some short day. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then what we decided to do was go and have a look on Reddit and have a look at what, from a seller perspective, what trended the most. We've been back the last 3 years. We kind of ignore the COVID years. Last 3 years, and we've looked from a seller's perspective. What were the key questions sellers have about Q4?
Okay.
So September, the biggest question on Reddit is, what's the cutoff date? What's the cutoff date for sending stock into FBA?
Yes.
In October, it's, why is my stock stuck in receiving?
Yeah. Answers itself.
Yeah. Then November is, what's going on with my advertising? It's costing me so much money.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. December is, why have I got so many orders pending? And finally, January is like, why have I got so many returns? Yeah. So
returns. That all makes sense. Okay. So those are the Reddit questions, but what are the common misconceptions? That's hard to say. Misconceptions.
I understood you. So the first one I think is the idea that you can ship as late as Amazon's cutoff date. So Amazon's actually got quite a late cutoff date for most. There are some categories where it's earlier, but most they have a fairly late date. It's different in different marketplaces.
Yeah.
Doesn't guarantee that your stock's going to be in on time though. So that's the number one. Second one, that lightning deals guarantee you Black Friday, Cyber Monday success.
Yes.
Which I think is not true.
No.
I mean, you can't even rely on the fact that those deals are actually going to happen, right?
No, sometimes they don't happen. You get cancelled. All kinds of stuff happens.
The idea that ads and traffic and sales peak in November and Black Friday. Again, so many people focused on Black Friday, not really considering the rest. Like we said, it's pent-up demand, right? Yeah. Not really considering the fact that it's more than just 1 day or 1 week.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole period from Black Friday, Cyber Monday, through to the last ship day.
Yeah. And I think the other point is this idea that you focus so heavily on this Black Friday period and you ignore the rest of December, but more importantly, January, and sort of like plan straight in, because I think that's, and again, a common misconception that you should be focused earlier.
When you're saying this, like, okay, so we should kind of like clarify this, because when we're saying people misunderstand, what we're really saying is they're forgetting about several points. One of them is stock, having enough stock for that period.
Absolutely.
Having enough budget for advertising. Yeah. And then having enough cash to repurchase and replenish your stock.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're talking about. So the idea is people focus on those 2 weeks, and what they're really not doing is they're not banking enough of those 3 things for when everybody else is selling.
And also focus, you mentioned stock there, profitability is the other one, right?
Yeah.
Because you can sell a lot of units in this time. How much margin are you making?
Yeah, exactly.
It's really easy. So I think the thing to realize is you'll get promoted if you're doing a really big discount. If it's a deep discount in Black Friday week and Cyber Monday weeks, you'll get the visibility. But would you be better off holding off, letting your key competitor to sell out at a lower margin price?
Yeah.
And then when the competition has disappeared,
then coming in and stepping in the up. But I think it's a completely right point, right? Because people like have all their deep promos in that period, when in fact you could just kind of have a slightly lower promotion and run all the way through. But I think it's a tactical question, because every category and every product's different. Because some things you're going to be like, I want to acquire the customer. I'm willing to take the hit because there's a lifetime value in their purchasing. Whereas with other things, it's like, if you're selling a TV, you're not going to be buying a TV every week.
Right. So I think a couple of points in there to really focus on. You're right. So if you've got lifetime value and you've got a lot of stock, so this is if you've got an item that people recurrently buy, then you can get new to brand customers, and that's really valuable to you.
Yeah.
So long as you've got the stock to maintain those sales through the whole period, then it's definitely worth going for. The second point you mentioned is like, okay, if you've got one-off sale items, it really depends on what type of item it is. Because you mentioned a TV. Now we know that TVs are right up there. Consumer electronics.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
That is anything that's a high ticket item is likely to be one of the first to be purchased in Black Friday week.
Yeah, that's when all the and all that pent up demand. So you're going to get a massive dip.
Yeah,
and then a whole lot of purchasing.
And if you miss that, then you that could really hurt you because there aren't that many people or as many people looking for a TV in the last couple of weeks of December as there are in that that Black Friday week and Cyber Monday weeks. But the flip side of that, if you've got a lower value item, people are buying TVs and they're buying then they're not necessarily looking for those secondary, tertiary gifts that they want to buy, and they'll be buying those later. So why go with your best discount now? Hold off and wait till that comes in. So different categories peak at different times.
Just for all the viewers, I'm resisting really hard not to say inappropriate jokes.
And just for all the viewers, I can see it in his face, and I'm trying to ignore that. I can see it.
There's
I know what he's.
There's so many. We've had like 3 or 4 opportunities to do.
Yeah, I know. I'm maybe purposely.
Yeah, I'm going to try and team me up.
We got some lessons from previous Q4s. 2022 was the year of severe FC congestion. We saw stock stuck for up to 120 days, so almost 4 months. Now, Amazon's got a lot better at it.
And we know they expanded their fulfillment center network massively.
So we don't see it, but
it's still going to be there.
Right.
We're already starting to see stuff.
In 23, there were more premium shopping days. We highlighted this at the time. There were about 18% more shopping days because Black Friday occurred earlier.
A week earlier.
Now it's at one of its latest possible dates. And so we've got less time this year than we've had in the last couple of years.
And we should explain. I can explain that further because conceptually it's easier when you can see it visually, right? So what we're saying is the number of weeks between Black Friday, which occurs the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, which occurs on the last
US Thanksgiving, not Canadian.
Yeah, the last Thursday of October, I believe.
Yeah. So when that occurs, Black Friday happens, then it's basically the maximum number of shopping days until the last shipping date. So it's kind of like dependent on when Christmas falls and when Black Friday falls. And we had the maximum number of, we had loads of them in that year.
We had about almost 5 weeks in 2023.
This year
is just 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be a bit more of a frenzy of purchasing in that 4 weeks.
The other thing to point out is Amazon's brought out AWD, which is particularly focused in the US. It is coming to the UK. We know that now, but there were severe delays of that last year. AWD, we're expecting it to be better this year, but it's still worth considering. It's probably not the ideal time. We're going to get into stock in a second.
AWD, I'm constantly doing these let's explain. So AWD, that's when you send your stock to an intermediary warehouse, like a whole bunch of stock to Amazon intermediary warehouse. And then as you need stock in the fulfillment centers, you can replenish from there. So you'll have your own warehouse, intermediary warehouse, and then a final warehouse, which currently happens in the UK with other distribution channels like Tesco and other supermarkets. It's just now Amazon's doing that in the US and they're going to bring it here in the UK.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry I interrupted you, but just want to...
No. I think it's a really good point because we're getting quite practiced with AWD in the US, but it isn't in the UK yet. And there'll be a lot of lessons we've learned from there that we can bring over this year. Next year when that occurs. In terms of FC congestion, I think it's good to point out that we've already seen huge congestion in the US that's been occurring for some time now off the back of the tariffs with China and everything that had loads of people sending that in. Amazon, as a result of that, reducing everyone's capacities. UK is already slower now, as we'd anticipated. You can expect receiving delays of 3 weeks on average. That can ramp up to 4 to 6 weeks. So you should plan for 4 to 6 weeks would be our recommendation.
Cool.
If you are in the US, AWD is really good off peak. It's a really hard thing to introduce, I think, during Q4. But if you do decide to do it, do it early, maybe October more. I wouldn't really send stock
Maybe
in that
one
way
for
in
next year.
November. Yeah, plan it
Maybe
into
one for next
November.
year.
Absolutely. And just a word on IPI and capacity limits. I think it's worth pointing out.
Yep. Inventory IPI score. What does that stand for? Inventory
Performance
something-
indicator.
Performance indicator. There you go.
Yeah. So keep an eye on those. You'll know what your capacity is. I think one of the things that a lot of people aren't aware of, because capacity limits have been reduced, is you can ask for them to be increased. And there is a charge for increasing them. But if you use the increased capacity, i.e. you sell through that stock during the following 90 days, Amazon will refund that fee to you. So as long as you're confident,
thanks,
it's
Amazon.
worthwhile doing.
That's kind of you.
That's a little bit sarcastic. Dripping. I think also it's probably just worth pointing out that Amazon themselves can be the subject, particularly in the later weeks, to last mile delivery issues.
Yeah.
We see that occurring, particularly if there's snow, and just being conscious of that across.
And just keep in mind, you may not be in the country where your stock is getting sold or fulfilled. So you're in the UK, fulfilling to Germany or the US, it may be maybe a white Christmas there and not where you are, or the other way around.
So mid-October brings in a period I know that you're always passionate about: increased FBA and storage fees. I think everyone needs to know that.
Scrumptious.
Right? Tell us about them.
Well, Amazon has a different rate. So basically for Q4, they charge you more. Q4, we charge you more. That rhymes. Great. So
you create a tagline for them.
Yeah,
Great.
You can use that if Amazon.
You want royalties.
Licensed though. So yeah, basically they're going to charge you more for the peak period, just to kind of stop you from over sending stock, and also just reducing pressure on the FCs.
We've got a nice calculator that helps determine that.
We do have a calculator for it.
But Amazon does provide it as well. If you go in, they've got a cost
too.
calculator. You can see what the cost is likely to be. And you need to pay attention because it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
Those prices are going up.
They do go up. It's not crazy, but it does go up, and it will build up over time. So,
right. The next point I want to talk about is advertising, because this is an area that is quite complex.
Yeah, I think there's an importance in having a really coherent advertising strategy for Q4, and it maps closely to the phases that we discussed, right?
Yeah.
So let's kind of like talk through that, and can we build on the nuance around category, because it'll vary slightly based on category.
It does vary slightly based on category, but I think if we just take like a generality on it, right? What you tend to see through November is an increase in impressions, but that's been driven by what we'd refer to colloquially as window shopping. Right? I.e. people who have a high intent to purchase. They're interested, but they're not going to buy until the deals start.
Yeah.
What that means is you will get clicks, but not necessarily conversions. And you will see that occurring. Keep a really close eye on your impressions, your click-through rate, and then your conversion rate. And you'll see that starting to happen. And then you've got to decide how you're going to respond to that.
Yeah.
So one of the things you could do is you can keep your foot down and say, hey, I want to get these clicks, and then do retargeting campaigns on those people that you then run alongside it to make sure you get those conversions. It's something you can do.
Yeah.
Or you may decide to back off during this period, not spend as much money, save your budget for the higher conversion weeks. And obviously what Amazon allows you to do is it allows you to retarget people who have clicked on competitive
stuff. Yeah. So you let other people kind of like do that investment. But it's an internal, I think it's an internal strategy.
It depends on how aggressive you want to be. It depends on what sort of ACOS
and what promotions you're running versus what your competitors are running.
Yeah, and when you intend to do it. Really depends on a load of those things. But that, just be aware of it, and that is going to happen. Understand when your sales peak, as you said, within your category. That's a really important point. And the other point to make is you want to rank organically just in time for those peak periods. So what are you going to do to drive that up? You're going to probably have to run some advertising and some promotion in the week to 10 days prior to your top weeks
to win.
To make sure that you are actually ranking organically at the highest point when you do that.
Yeah. I always wonder, have we unpacked these sufficiently enough for people to understand? If you don't understand something that Zamir just said, just drop a message in. We'd love to answer them. Just send us a message or an email.
Yeah. And we could talk about that for a very long time. So
Well,
I'm
Zamir
being very
likes-
careful
Zamir
to
likes
try and do it at a
he
high
likes to
level.
geek out over
I do like to
on
geek
ad
out
strategy.
at it. Yeah.
So it's
more than
okay. You
happy
can
to.
geek out as a fams. Yeah, you can message Red Speedos at thiswayup.online, or you can drop a comment in, or on our website.
I would just come back to this point of being really profit focused. Don't sell stock at a low margin if you don't have it in there. Maximize profit. Plan to maximize profitability throughout this period, and you want to stay in stock into January. I can't stress that
Super
enough.
important.
January is such a strong month.
Yeah,
and
for
people ignore that.
So many categories.
Yeah. One last thing to point out is Amazon Marketing Cloud, because AMC is becoming more and more prevalent and more available to more people. If you are already using it, kudos to you. If not, go and have a look into it.
Find out about it and get on it.
But you can do all sorts of things. So you can do like you can look at your ad sales attribution, path to purchase. You can look at how many times people are looking at different types of ad before they make the conversion. You can also look at purchase time to conversion, so you can understand that consumer behavior, and you can see the split very clearly between new to brand customers and existing customers returning. All of that combined with a whole load of both bespoke and pre-created audience profiles that you can target. So suddenly now you can go for generic high volume search terms that have this lens popped over it that are attributed directly to your type of customer. So whether it's a type of product you're selling or if it's a type of the market that you're selling to, there's generally some form of audience profile you can apply to your keywords, and that's really powerful.
Once again, if you have any questions around what Zamir said, email us at redspeedos@thiswayup.online, or just our website, or comment.
I have some questions for you. Deals and promotions. There are different types. We've got Prime exclusive discounts, we've got lightning deals. We've also got the 30-day and 360-day look back periods.
Yes.
Can you just discuss?
All right. In 500 words or less. Let's go. So the important thing to understand here is the look back window. I think I always start with that. Amazon has a look back window where they will check what price was your product sold at, whether it was you or someone else selling that product. So if you're a reseller, it's the ASIN at ASIN level. Look at what was the price in the last 30 days, and they will base their the minimum discount on that price. So if you say I'm going to do 20% off, it'll be on that lowest price in the last 30 days, one look back window, or it might be 365 days for the super deeper big promotions. So that's one really important factor to keep in mind. Cool. Now, second question you asked.
Types of promotion.
The types of promotion. They vary, and they each have different benefits. My personal favorite is the 7-day deal. I love those because you have a way bigger window of time to capture customers. You get a lot more exposure. You get way more sales. And it's quite a strong way of running things.
Prime exclusive discounts does give you flexibility as well, though, doesn't it?
Yes. Yep.
Quite like those too.
And then your lightning deal, or your kind of like your flash deal, that will come in over a period. Now, the one thing with the lightning deal though is, my feeling is they can be really useful if you need to kind of just get one out there and just and run it, especially the type of product, or if you get it on a really good day. But generally, just because they come and go so quickly, I find them a little bit more limiting.
I used to like to get one out there now and again, but these days I prefer the sort of like
You're
longer
smiling now
periods.
too. You're smiling now too. There's all the inappropriate jokes you.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I knew it.
So, final thing I want to kind of round off on is we often, so what we create with all the brands we work for is a crisis playbook for this period.
Yes.
We list down all the things that could potentially go wrong, and then we create a process for each of those things.
Yeah. So it's something we normally have for our brands and for our team internally, but
just consider it. I have a think through what could go wrong. How would I respond if this happened? If I don't get the deal, if I lose the buy box, if stock doesn't go in on time, what is my backup plan? Am I going to switch from FBA to merchant fulfilled inventory? All those little things, and just make sure you've got it documented and you've kind of briefed all the people they need to know, so that if it occurs, you're not kind of flailing. You have a plan. You know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I think it's really worthwhile pointing out that we're kind of cribbing all of this off of, we have a 2-hour workshop that we run prepping for Black Friday, and that's where this content's kind of come from. We've done it super high level, but if anyone wants more detailed sort of like documentation on this, just comment or reach out, and we'll endeavor to get that through to you as quickly as possible.
Red Speedos at thiswayup.online or our website, or comment below.
Okay, so I think all that's left to say is, look, have an awesome Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and
the period after that, which is really important.
And January.
And you're going to have lots of stock for
Happy
the whole...
New Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of it.
Cool. Alrighty. Stay awesome.
One love.
One love.